cover the issue of Palestinian rights every week, like almost every single stream. Something that's very important to me. You have Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel, that giving an address to Congress tonight. I was talking about how Pramila Jayapal, like a coward, walked about her statement on Israel, and now you had Congress that in almost unanimous fashion, only the Squad and a few progressives voted against, pretty much saying they support Israel. So it's just another disgusting example of our state support of the fascist state of Israel, just and no criticism is allowed. Even the right wing, like the right wing that talk about free speech, for example, there's bans on BDS in Florida. So the free speech warriors like Ron DeSantis are frauds because they're free speech, except when it comes to Israel. So I want your reaction to this as someone who ran, once again, as commander in chief, your thoughts on this insidious relationship with Israel and the reaction of Congress and the fact that they got Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel, giving an address. I believe it's tomorrow or Friday. It's coming up here very soon. But what's your thoughts on that?
He gave it today.
Oh, he already gave it today? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know whether you saw my Twitter or not.
He tweeted out. Yeah, Cornel West tweeted out about it. I can put it up.
Oh yeah, I do remember seeing that. Yeah, let me. Yeah, I'll pull up because I actually retweeted that. So I'm gonna pull up your tweet.
Actually, you can pull that up because I said the resolution is a sham. That the Israeli state was racist in its inception, with ethnic cleansing and viewing itself as a homeland for precious Jews who had been viciously treated. I mean, the Holocaust is the indescribable evil. There ain't no doubt about that. But when you jump out of the burning buildings of Europe and say you go to a place that has no people, but you got people there, then you land on their backs, you land on their land, and you have to choose whether you're going to dominate them or coexist. Albert Einstein was a progressive Jewish brother. He said he wanted to coexist. Jabotinsky said dominate. Jabotinsky won that battle. The Einsteins and others got pushed to the side. So they didn't want to coexist with the Palestinians. They want to dominate. That's Jabotinsky's legacy, you see. And so the question then becomes, of course, then how do you tell the truth about settler colonial societies that are deeply racist? The United States is the same way. Racist to the core. Biden and Kamala Harris say it's not a racist country. Okay, go on and stay on the crack pipe. Go on and stay completely removed from what's happening on the ground. But everybody know the racism is still there. And so it is in Israel too. You could be a Jewish brother and sister from Ethiopia and have to deal with racism, even though you're a Jewish person. But we're also talking about apartheid-like conditions in the West Bank. In fact, it's worse than apartheid in the West Bank. Now, inside of Israel, it's not full-scale apartheid because you actually have rights. People have elected officials who sit right in the governing bodies, but they're second-class citizens. On the West Bank, it's worse than apartheid. That's what Desmond Tutu told me when I traveled with him. He said it was worse in the West Bank than it was in Soweto. And you just have to speak that truth. And unfortunately, we've got cowardly black leaders in Congress who are going to trot right on up and talk about it's not racist at all. It's a wonderful place. It's a robust place. Oh, please. Jesus Christ.
They won't walk their black ass through there.
How sad. It's like slapping Malcolm and Martin in the grave. Slapping them in the face in the grave. I dare you say that kind of thing. You know you're lying.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And misleading the people and that. And I'm not demonizing them. I'm just calling them cowards. Because that's what they are. And so the question becomes then,
absolutely,
how do you account for this paradox? Right? The paradox is you got Jewish brothers and sisters who've been hated, terrorized, and traumatized for 2,000 years. Vicious treatment, Holocaust, vicious. Then they get a nation state and they reproduce terror, trauma, and subjugation for the Palestinians. Human wretchedness. And you have to be honest about that. And that's precisely the taboo issue that the Democratic Party won't touch, Republican Party won't touch, but it's not just them. Most of corporate media won't touch. Even in universities, it's hard to have an honest, candid conversation about it. because they cast you as anti-Semite. And you say, well, you can call me anything I want. I'm interested in truth. I'm interested in justice. I will never sell any oppressed group down the river. That includes Palestinians, includes black people, includes indigenous people. Call me any name you want. I'm not selling them down the river. I'm concerned about their suffering, and I'm concerned about the conditions under which that suffering can be changed. And that's why, you know, this resolution is just such a sham. It's a sad thing to have to even witness, but it is what it is, and you have to keep on moving. Oppose any form of racism, any form of domination, in the name of human dignity.